Hello.
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 Okay.
Hello.
Today we will talking about our analysis of the observation places of the phase two, identifying key challenges and selecting one to explore possible solutions. Each member of the group created a digital presentation that we will then present individually and then shows a problem that will be the object of our study. Next is the the next is of the group number will give a summary of their observation from the different places, starting with the my digital presentation. Continue, I share the. Can you say me if you can see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
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 Okay. Okay. This is my analysis report. Uh, The learning in a foreign languages is a complex process influenced by pedagogical strategies, social interactions, and motivational factors. This analysis explores the three classroom sessions, identifying key challenges and how they align with major language acquisition theories. The classes observed is class 12, celebrations, class 14, student talking time, and classes 15, SST second session English B2. The sometime observation in the different classes. In a class 15, the teacher refers tense, comparative example and review activities, real-time correction, and praises encouraging accuracy student response. Cultural content, topics such as New Year's resolution and business conversation introduce students to culturally relevant aspects of the languages. When presenting their ideas, whether discussion, personal resolution, or analysis business conversation, students showcase their innate linguistic competence. While preparing the lab speaks on topic like resolutions, students' activities engage their internal monitor. Okay. The problems and educational situation is during the observed classes, the lack of adaptation, the diversity of learning paces in English lessons created difficulties for some students who require more time to process information. This affects their overall comprehension and reduce their active participation in educational activities. Continue with the classmate Jadi.
Hello. Uh, yeah. Mm,
No.
can you see my screen?
Mm, no.
Mm,
Oh,
yes.
Okay. Hello, my name is Yayeli Harchila Cáceres, and today I show you my theories analysis report. Uh, Introduction. The theory of foreign language acquisition helps us observe and analyze how students can learn a new language. Its purpose is to see which factors influence the development and learning of a new language, such as activities, chronology, or factors that motivate students to learn a language. To identify these factors, we will review and analysis three virtual class. The virtual class I observed to my analysis reports are class 2, what do you look like? Class 10, celebrations. Class 12, students talking time. In this class, I could observe many of these theories learning in the last phase, but in this moment, I will focus in the problematic that I evident. So, okay, this is my problematic. A problem I observed in class 2 was that the students spoke more in Spanish than in English, and when they didn't speak in English, their answers were very short, often just a few words or even one word. This behavior might seem not too important, but then speaking more in Spanish makes their learning to slow down significantly, affecting the improvement they want to achieve in the target language. So this is all I have to say. I pass the word on to the next participant.
Okay, continue with Aide.
Hi everyone, good afternoon, good night. Wait, please. Can you see?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh, Good evening. This is my presentation and the analysis report and the introduction. To acquire a new language, it is crucial to take into account factors such as teaching methods, the learning environment, the motivation and interest of the student, and each of those factors has a significant influence, since it is not only a matter of memorizing rules and acquiring vocabulary, but all of them influence the effectiveness of the process. Not only the memorization of rules and the acquisition of vocabulary, but all of them influence the effectiveness of the process. The class observation is the class that I observed is class 10 B1, class 13 B1, and class 14 A1. The problematic, the education situation is about session 13 is limited use of English. This is the problem is frequent use of Spanish may reduce the opportunity to practice and improve listening, comprehension, and oral production in English. Despite being in by English class, she used mostly Spanish in her explanation and also expression in Spanish. This can be problematic cause while Spanish can be useful for clarification. The one level students should be exposed mostly to the target language, in this case English, to foster language immersion. Thank you.
Continue with the classmate Holman.
Okay, very well, guys. My name is Solman Galvis Cárdenas. Wait, share my presentation. Mm, You can see.
Yes.
Okay. The theory analysis report um, with respect to the three class, three classes. First class, number two, what do you like? Class, second class, class number 10, celebration, the English 4. Third class, class number 11, students talking time. I focus in three aspects in the contextual and cultural factors. First aspect, the learning environment. The learning environment in which a person finds themselves can have a significant impact on their ability to learn the English language. For example, people who live in urban areas or who have access to technological resources may have more opportunities to practice the language and improve their skills. The second aspect, the age. Age is also an important factor in English language acquisition. Children and adolescents may have a greater ability to learn language due to their greater brain plasticity and their greater exposure to language and school and in the media. Three aspects in the occupation. Occupation can also influence how people learn the English language. For example, people who work in fields such as medicine, engineering, or finance may need to learn language specific terms and concepts in order to perform their jobs effectively. With respect and the problematics and educational situation, after observing three virtual English classes, it was indefinite that the main problem faced by students is low participation in English conversation. Due to comprehension problems, classes, students demonstrate difficulty in understanding and responding to questions and comments in English, which led to reduced participation in online discussion and activities. Although the students demonstrate basic knowledge of grammar and vocabulary, their ability to understand and respond to questions and comments in English was limited. Thank you.
Okay, thank you too. Continue with the classmate Natalia.
My name is Natalia Castro. I am from Santander. Eh, you can see my screen?
Yes.
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 Five those education and pedagogy practice. I am introduction. Learning a new language depends of my times, like how it is the learning every month and student motivation. Language learning theory helps us understand how students learn and what affect their progress. In the study, we will look at three virtual classes to see how students react and what helps them learn better. We will also see huge motivation, participation, and digital tools affect language learning online. The study will help us understand how online learning works and what teaching methods might be more effective. Class 1, 11, 14, and problemation and education sequence. In the virtual class, observe of the main problems what the many students did not participate in oral activities, which hinder the language practice. In the B1 level class, when the teacher asking a student to discuss a language on some participation while others remain silent or turning off the cameras. possibly for fear of making mistakes, suggestion, a hit affected flatter, according to Crash Model 1982. In the class one, we asked to repeat English words, some repeating very friendly or avoid speaking, which may indicate a lack of context. They may be due anxiety, lack of motivation, or the curve of not speaking in a virtual classroom. Thank you.
Okay, nice. We have shared our observation. Okay, guys, which of the problem do you think we should choose? I hear your opinions.
Okay, I choose the class, the problematic of Jadi Archila.
Okay,
Yes, I think about that the problematic that Jadi.
okay, Jadi.
Okay, pues I chose more problematic too, but because I consider that given that this problematic was observed in a specific class and therefore it's not a general problematic, it is easier to guide the student next uh, project.
Okay, and Natalia, what do you think? Natalia, you choose to Jadi, the problematic of Jadi?
Yes,
Yes, okay. And so we agree. The problem is a problem I observed in class two was that students spoke more in Spanish than in English, and when they did speak in English, their answers were very short, often just a few words or even a word. This behavior might seem not too important, but them speaking more in Spanish made learning to slow down significantly, affecting the environment they want to achieve in the target languages. Okay, so I shared the screen. Continue. I have the any questions about this problematic and the possible solutions. Okay, we have identified our central issues. It's time to delve into solutions. To do so, I pose the following question with each of the will answers based in your analysis and your experience. Okay, one
Okay.
moment, please. Well, okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, the first question is, what innovative English learning activity do you propose to address the identified educational challenge? Classmate Jadi?
Okay. The activities I propose to approach the problematic shows are online games, focus on the pronunciation and students teacher interaction. Um, I suggest some specific games I can up with like an improvisation roulette. So in this activity is going to be realized a roulette game where there will be present different situations with which the students have to add and improvise as well dialogue with the with the situations that was shorter. Um, Also, shadowing. Um, when the students will use this activity to have more confidence when they have to speak, uh, repeating different situations and doing mimic of scenes of movies or TV shows to improve their pronunciation, and this way when they speak they'll not longer use Spanish, and in the contrary they will be more fluency, creating more complete sentence.
Okay, good. Continue with the classmate idea. What do you think?
Okay, innovate English learning activities. I think that with the conversation challenge, such as speed speaking or pirate conversation, in which students hold a short but continuous conversation, can be 1 or 2 minutes with simple question but with more complete answers with topics that interest them, such as their hobbies, a short story, or favorite movie. Other thing is games or dramatization. Through this allows students to interpret um, throughout drama and games and situations from daily life, which allows them to give context to the activity so they can relate the language.
Okay, very good. Continue with the Holman. What do you think about this question? Your microphone is off.
Okay, okay, sorry.
Okay,
Um,
no
with
problem.
respect to the first question, I propose online discussions. Organize online discussion on topics of interest to students using platforms like Zoom, Google Meet, or Discord. Research projects, I think research projects on specific topics where students practice communication and problem solving skills.
Okay, thanks. Continue with the classmate Natalia. What is your answers?
For the questions, speaking or challenging, again, in which student will respond in English with a list of one complete sentence in the response with only one word, the most complete, a fun challenging. For example, describe an object in the room and answer another questions. Thank you.
Okay, okay, nice. Okay, in my opinion, I would implement is recreating a student to communicate it exclusively in English and a specific moment during the class, whether to ask a question, share an opinion, or even request permission to leave the room. This encourages immediate practice of and builds on confidence. Okay. Additionally, introducing common everyday expression will help the students navigate real-world scenarios more effectively. Lastly, motivating a student to provide more elaborate answers rather than short on-word answers will foster deeper engaging and languages development. Okay. The next question is, uh, what specific recourse, including digital tools and materials, do you propose to utilize to support the implementation of your proposed activities? What do you think, Aide?
Um, Digital tools such Kahoot, EducaPlay, Quizlet, Quizlet, or Quizzes. with,
Quiz. Yes.
también, which have interactive games and also to perform dynamic activities, also serve to reinforce vocabulary. You can also include pronunciation, correction, applications, such as Elsa Speak. Thank you.
Okay, continue with Jadi.
Okay, the resources that I consider are useful to the implementing on my activities are Worldwall for the roulette game, Ball Screen for the shadowing, EducaPlay for the online games, and Canva for any anything or creative activity.
Okay, good. Continue with Oldman.
I propose a specific resource with collaboration tools. Use collaboration tools such as Google Docs, Trello, or Asana to facilitate collaboration and information sharing among students. Digital books and articles provide access to books and digital articles in English so that students can read and analyze text in a digital environment.
Okay. What do you think, Natalia?
Okay, high consider take specific codes and digital tools, network Kahoot acquaints for interaction activities that encourage log response or for games they encourage the use of English. Thank you.
Okay. I think there are many digital tools that can be evaluate records of learning activity platforms like Microsoft Teams and Canva support interactive collaboration. Will online chat forums provide space for students to engage in discussion entirely in English. Additionally, creating opportunities for oral comprehension practice where the students speak only in English, talk structured listening exercise, and get speaking activities. Okay, and the next question is, what methodology do you propose to assess the impact of your proposed activities on language learning outcomes? What do you think about? What is your opinion, Olman?
Okay. With respect to the third question, progress test, conduct regular progress tests to assess students' progress in their understanding and use of the language. Qualitative data analyze qualitative data such as transcripts of discussion and student feedback to assess the quality of classroom interaction and learning.
Okay, good. Continue with Jadi.
Okay, to do an assessment of the effectiveness of my activities, I will use methodologies like small oral quizzes where they demonstrate that knowledge they acquire through the activities done. Eh, I will also suggest to do tests in online tools to do a more complete evaluation of variability worked and that they are searching to improve. Thank
Okay,
you.
good. Continue with Natalia.
Okay, but for questions and the impact of the problems, access, fluency, or response of vocabulary and grammar, compare curriculums and the beginning and also applying the strategy to evidence progress, a student can reflect on their of was of English or receive feedback for the friends. As a student to read about the experiences, use more English and how they feel about their progress. Thank you.
Okay, nice. Continue with Aide.
I propose that implement evaluation that measure communication skills that not only take into account grammatical content. uh, this evaluation includes presentation and conversation. Is evaluation by competences. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, in my opinion, the first methodology involves observation, keeping a record and monitoring student participation, as well as show lengthy their responses are. This allows for an analysis of their interactions in class and assessment of the improvements. Another methodology would be to evaluate the student prior knowledge at the beginning of the class to determine the best approach during the lesson and the end. Digital application can be used to access compensation and ensure that the topics covered had been understood. Additionally, role-playing activities should be implemented, allowing students to use the languages in the real context. Okay, in conclusion, um, we can say to the improve English learning, it is essential to the encourage constant practice through strategies that promote more fluid and elaborate response, observation, prior assessment, and digital tools strengths linguistic skill and in a dynamic environment. Additionally, innovate activities such as game, debates, and shadowing and innate fluency and confidence, integrating digital recurse and communication focused assessment ensure continue with the progress in languages profiles. Okay, guys, this is all. Thank you for your participation and your answers. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.